Hey, happy New Year's Eve, everybody. This is Man Cave Media here, and as we're looking at the wall of shame, we have the poor busted Dodge body, but that is not why I brought the camera down here. Today I figured for a good New Year's Eve project, we'd take the F650 SCX10 and something you guys haven't seen in a while. What is it? Oh, the Wraith. We're gonna do some interesting things to both of these vehicles. I'm going to do a full. Well, number one, I'm gonna take the axle set. The axle set is gonna go over onto the SCX. So I'm gonna swap out the wide wheelbase for the short. The Timbuktu brushless crawler system is going to be coming out of this one and going into this, and a 55 turn stock, well 20 turn is stock in this, but a 55 turn axial will be going in this one to power the lower gear ratio. They both do have MIP spline CVDs on them because the SCX there is originally the truck that I took these links from. But what I'm going to try doing here is I'm going to try to shorten the wheelbase on this one with the SCX links and lengthen the wheel run on this one using the Wraith upper and lower links. We're going to see how that's going to play out, because I don't know if it is due to the way that it's set up. I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't look like it's going to work, but you never know. Which means, Dwayne Johnson can climb his happy little butt out of the truck and go over there. The Undertaker, I'm sorry dude, you're my guy and everything, but oh god, but it feels good to stretch your legs. Oh no, he wants to sit. So there we have it. There's the Wraith with the brushless in it. Not sounding very hot because it hasn't been driven in a while. So it'll be a good replacement to get thrown into the SCX. But I'm going to go ahead and start by stripping down the axles, the suspension, getting everything ready for that swap over. Then we'll do that swap over, see if it works. Then we'll go ahead and rip the electronics out and get that all going. Figured I'd give you guys a really cool project. This one probably won't be dropped till after New Year's, seeing how I've got two videos still right now that I shot yesterday that have to be released. Who knows, I might do something special and jump line, but here we go. Okay guys, now it's time for some organized chaos. What I've done is, of course, this is the F650 SCX. I've gone ahead and I've done front and rear. I've got the Wraith axles on it. My Integi big bore aluminum shocks are back on. I'm using the Wraith 4-link kit actually, so all the suspension components that came off of the Wraith are on the SCX, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys by mounting the body the vast difference we have now with the Wraith axles on there. Alright, let's see. Now we've got a completely beastly looking mud truck, which of course these shafts are not hooked up. I've got sitting here my axial transmission with the Robinson Racing steel hardened outdrive, the hardened idler, and of course, you know, the top gear with the slipper is always metal stock, but these two gears are plastic normally. What I have to do with this one is I have to strip this 27 turn motor off and put the Novak Racing ballistic brushless 13.5 turn crawler motor in it. And then just basically I've got the Wraith, poor Wraith, that's sitting there with nothing on it. But as you can see, the table is absolutely freaking full of stuff. So I'm going to show you where I've gotten with the Wraith after we set that body down. But this thing just looks so much beefy, and it's actually lighter. But the progress of the Wraith is we've got the skid plate to it sitting here, which just of course mounts up into the engine. And then we've got our front end set up. I have the rear off of the truck. All I've got to do now is just put the drive shaft back onto the pinion yoke coming out of the rear end, set my linkages up, and set my drive shafts, and install the 55 turn inside of that, get the spur set up. And luckily, since this is going to be a brushed motor, getting the reverse polarity, seeing how the Wraith is the only vehicle so far that has the slipper facing the front of the vehicle versus the rest of these, this slipper faces the back. I'm going to have to go back through my instructions on the Timbuk2 to reverse the polarity yet again, so that I'm running forward. I don't care if you guys come down. Okay. I'm going to have to reverse the polarity in the brushless motor, so we're going forward again instead of backwards like it was. And that one's just as simple as reversing your hot and your positive and negative wires on the battery itself. Once again, I can't put the dust cover on because of the fact that the MIP shafts come right up to the edge, and the little the bell end of the drive shaft here would be rubbing the plastic, and I've tried before, it just flat out does not work. So next step, I'll have the suspension completely done, the engine mounted in, and everything ready to get bolted back up underneath the Wraith. So when we get there, I will start filming again, of course. Well, here we go, guys. We're at the end of day one as far as the build goes. Well, not really the build, but the conversion. And there we go. We've got the SCX10 with the Wraith axles, the Timbuk2 ballistic crawler 13.5 turn motor mounted to the transmission, battery back in. This thing doesn't really weigh all that much, so it should be good with the wide wheel stance. Of course, we got the STRC steering knuckles. Can't even remember who made these, but they were from asiatees.com. I got the steering linkages, and I also got my 4 links. And then over here we have totally different looking Wraith with the SCX10 axles on it. I'm going to do a little bit of work here because right now that's about all the flex it's got. So I'm thinking maybe this thing is going to be turned from a mud vehicle into probably, or not a mud vehicle, I just ruined it. Way to go, jackass. This one's going to be turned from like a crawler / rock racer into probably a mud racer. I don't know. I'm going to look and see if there's ways I can mount my arms a little differently, because my upper linkages kind of seem to be getting in the way back there. I had to, on the back, this is something I've never had to do before, but on the back, I had broken my, well, you can see better from this end. On the back, I had broken my Y-bar back there, so I just made standoffs so I could have the rear axle clocked, which the rear axle on the front is clocked upwards. And I've drilled holes right next to the shocks and mounted them, whereas you can see the front axle is not clocked. In fact, it's actually leaning backwards a little bit, so I'm going to have to do something along the lines of fixing that to try clocking it forward, which is going to give me better articulation, and the shocks should be fine. I'll just put them on a more aggressive angle. But there it is, guys. What do you think so far? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen an SCX10 with a set of Wraith axles on it, so hopefully I'm the first on this one. And I've also never seen a Wraith with SCX10s and an SCX10 with, I think, oh man, I'm just so freaking beat and burned out, and it's New Year's Eve. We've got parties we have to go to later, so basically this video kind of got rushed. Never seen an SCX10 with Wraith axles, and never seen a Wraith with SCX10 axles. And these, by the way, are the Tamiya tires that came off of the Bucking Bronco. The Bronco actually has the Wraith's stock tires on it because the Mudslingers will not clear. Well, the Mudslingers will clear anything, but the stock Wraith tires will not clear the SCX axle because of that steering bar right there. And we're actually cutting it pretty damn close with these Tamiya wheels, but as you can see, it rolls free. This one's not going to because it's brushless, but this is only the beginning of it, because I'm actually going to run a different, there's a whole different scheme I've got for the Wraith. The SCX is just going back together as the F650, so all I've got to redo with that one is mount my ESC, clock it to where it's facing forward again, basically just standard configuration, button everything down with that, and then drive it. That one will be done. Be interesting to see the SCX with the new wider wheelbase, see how it handles obstacles, and with the offset differentials. This one, on the other hand, this is going to be a project that's going to take a little while because I've got some things. I'm not going to spoil the secrets because there's a few things out there that aren't going to be said for a while, and that's good because it'll leave you in suspense, make you coming back wanting more. So to cap the end of the day, we have both trucks back as complete rolling chassis, and it's gone rather painless with just a few modifications needed to make it fit correctly, and so far I'm very pleased with the results. So hope you guys enjoyed watching the steps so far on this one as I've swapped them over, and stay tuned for the next in the series.